We live in a time that glorifies non-stop hustle, constant acceleration, and relentless struggle for every goal we chase. The world shouts that success only belongs to those who exhaust themselves in the name of ambition. But what if I told you the ancient Stoics uncovered something entirely different? What if the real key to creating everything you long for isn't in frantic effort, but in the deep peace that comes from releasing control? Marcus Aurelius, the most influential figure in the Roman Empire, once recorded in his private notes. He understood that when we stop battling the natural flow of life and instead move in harmony with it, remarkable things begin to unfold. Confine yourself to the present. The Stoics were never passive dreamers. They were warriors who won their battles through insight rather than force. Consider water for a moment. It doesn't fight against the stones it meets. It flows past them, over them, through them, and over time it shapes the entire terrain. This is the essence of calm intention, holding your goals with a light grip while trusting the natural order to deliver them. When you spend every moment tense about what you want, gripping outcomes so tightly that your knuckles ache, you push away exactly what you're chasing. Anxiety builds resistance, and resistance blocks abundance from entering your life. The Stoics recognized that our desperation is often the greatest barrier between us and the very dreams we seek. But here's the beauty. When you truly relax into your vision, when you align yourself with the steady rhythm of existence, you naturally draw opportunities to you. Suddenly, doors you never noticed appear wide open. The right people, resources, and situations begin to find you, not through force, but through the quiet confidence that signals to life itself that you are ready. This is not about becoming passive or abandoning your aspirations. It's about understanding the difference between aligned action and exhausting struggle. It's planting seeds with care, then trusting the sun, the rain, and the earth to do their work. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate, a deep trust that everything happens as it's meant to. Today, I'm going to share 10 powerful Stoic principles that will completely change the way you approach manifestation. These aren't abstract theories. They are practical lessons tested over thousands of years. Each one will help you release the tension blocking your blessings and step into the natural flow where extraordinary things happen effortlessly. Before we start, do something for yourself. Hit that like button. It's your signal that you're ready for transformation. If this resonates, type in the comments. When I relax, life flows to me. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more, and make sure you watch to the end. Habit number 1, the art of detached desire. Here's the paradox that frustrates so many people. The more desperately you want something, the more it slips through your fingers. Yet the Stoics uncovered something about desire that modern psychology is only now starting to grasp. Epictetus, who rose from slavery to become one of the most respected philosophers in history, wrote, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This isn't about giving up your dreams. It's about recognizing the vital difference between wanting and needing. When you need something, you create tension and attachment. When you want something but are genuinely fine without it, you create attraction. Think about the people in your life who seem to receive what they want without struggle. They aren't the ones constantly talking about what they lack or posting desperate affirmations online. They're the ones holding their desires lightly, like a butterfly resting in their palm. They hope for great things, but they don't tie their worth to whether those things happen in their exact time frame. This is what the Stoics called preferred indifference. You prefer to have success, love, and prosperity. but your peace doesn't depend on them. Your happiness isn't hostage to conditions outside your control. That kind of energy is magnetic. People and life itself are drawn to those who aren't desperate. Practicing detached desire removes the repelling force of neediness and replaces it with the calm presence of abundance. You start making decisions from certainty instead of fear. And decisions made from certainty almost always produce better results. The magic happens when you can honestly say, "I would love for this to happen, and I'll take inspired action toward it. But I'm perfectly fine if it doesn't happen exactly as I imagine." That isn't giving up. That's maturity. It's the understanding that the universe often has a plan even greater than what your current vision can see. Try it today. Hold your most important desire in your mind, then take a deep breath and say, "This or something better." Feel how the pressure lifts. Feel the possibilities expand. Let this settle in your spirit, and if it resonates, write this in the comments. I desire with peace, not desperation. Habit number 2, present moment magnetism. Chances are your mind spends more time anywhere but here, the only place your true power actually exists. Most people mentally live in a future that hasn't arrived yet or replay a past they can't change. But the Stoics understood something life-changing. All creation happens in the now. If you're absent from the present, you miss the magic entirely. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." This isn't just poetic, it's a practical blueprint. When your awareness is rooted in this moment, you begin to notice openings your distracted mind would overlook. You hear the passing comment that leads to a breakthrough. You feel that subtle nudge to change your route home and bump into exactly the right person. But presence isn't only about attention, it's about energy. When you're truly here, you're operating at your highest vibration. You're not weighed down by the regrets of yesterday or the fears of tomorrow. You're pure potential, and that energy draws in both people and opportunities like a magnet. Think of the most captivating people you've met. They aren't the ones glued to their phones or endlessly talking about what they'll do someday. They're the ones who make eye contact, who seem unhurried, who make you feel as though you're the only one who matters in that moment. That's presence, and it's irresistibly attractive. The beautiful paradox is this: when you stop living for the future, you create a better one. When you stop resisting this moment, it becomes the launch pad for all you've been dreaming about. The truth is, opportunity doesn't live in tomorrow. It's found in the attention you bring to today. Your breath is the anchor to the present. Whenever you catch your mind drifting into what if or if only, bring yourself back. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice 3 things you can see, hear, or feel right now. This isn't just meditation, it's manifestation training. The present moment isn't only where you exist, it's where you create. Stop waiting in the lobby of your own life. Step into the room where the miracles are already happening. Habit number 3, the wisdom of accepted resistance. Life will hand you challenges. That's not a possibility, it's a certainty. What separates those who manifest their vision from those who stay stuck is how they choose to relate to those challenges. The way you meet resistance determines whether it becomes your downfall or your greatest teacher. Marcus Aurelius endured plagues, political betrayal, and war, yet he still wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This wasn't just philosophical poetry, it was a battle-tested truth. Every obstacle you face holds within it the seed of progress, if you know how to use it. Most people see resistance and immediately assume the universe is closing doors. They take it as a personal attack, get discouraged, and often quit entirely. But what if every barrier was life's way of shaping you into the person who can actually handle what you're asking for? Think of the oyster and the pearl. The grain of sand doesn't destroy the oyster. It transforms it, creating something rare and valuable. In the same way, your obstacles aren't punishments. They're invitations to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. When you accept resistance instead of resenting it, your energy shifts. You stop draining yourself fighting reality and start using that energy to navigate reality. You become like water, adaptable, persistent, and unstoppable. This doesn't mean you give up taking action. It means your actions come from alignment, not desperation. You learn to respond rather than react. You start looking for the lesson in the setback and the opening in the obstacle. The next time something disrupts your plan, pause and ask, how could this be serving me right now? What lesson is this teaching me? How might this be preparing me for something even greater? Sometimes the delay is protection. Sometimes the detour leads to a better destination than the one you planned. Sometimes the no you hear is clearing space for the biggest yes of your life. Trust that the bigger picture is always in motion, even if you can't see it yet. The universe has a wider view, and it's working in your favor, even in the moments it feels like it isn't. If you're ready to embrace this truth, anchor it with the words, I grow stronger through resistance, not weaker. Habit number 4, the power of inner authority. Here's a truth that can change everything. You've been giving away your power, and that's why what you're trying to manifest feels out of reach. The Stoics discovered that real creation begins the moment you reclaim your inner authority and stop allowing outside circumstances to dictate your inner state. Epictetus taught, no one can hurt you without your permission. This goes far beyond emotional toughness. It's about understanding exactly where your power lives. Every time you say, I can't feel happy until, or I'll feel successful when, you hand control of your life to something outside yourself. That's why you feel constantly at the mercy of conditions you can't command. Think about how exhausting that is. Your mood rises and falls with other people's opinions. Your confidence depends on numbers in a bank account. Your sense of worth sways with every bit of praise or criticism. You've given away the steering wheel, and now the world drives your emotional state. When you reclaim your inner authority, everything changes. You realize your joy, peace, and abundance are internal decisions, not rewards handed out by external events. This doesn't mean you stop caring about outcomes. It means you stop making outcomes responsible for your well-being. And that shift is powerful because you're no longer operating from neediness or scarcity. When you know you can choose happiness, regardless of what's happening, you make wiser decisions. When you understand your worth isn't determined by approval, you show up authentically. When your security comes from within, you take bolder steps without fear. People sense this energy. Opportunities are naturally drawn to those who aren't chasing them desperately. Success gravitates toward those who don't require it to feel valuable. Start practicing this today. Before you check your phone, look at your bank account, or seek someone's opinion, pause and ask, how do I choose to feel right now, regardless of my circumstances? Then commit to that choice. Your outer world will always echo your inner world. Shift the inside, and the outside has no choice but to follow. If you're ready to step into this power, claim it. I am the author of my own experience. Habit number 5, the art of strategic non-action. It might sound strange, but sometimes the most effective move you can make is to pause completely. The Stoics understood something our hyper-busy culture tends to forget. There's a world of difference between activity and progress, between constant motion and meaningful movement, between pushing for results and taking action that's truly aligned. Lao Tzu, whose wisdom influenced Stoic thought, said, "The sage does not attempt anything very big and thus achieves greatness." Sometimes your biggest breakthroughs arrive not from doing more, but from having the wisdom to step back. We've been taught to believe that constant action equals success. But much of what we call being productive is really anxiety in disguise. We fill every gap in our schedule because stillness feels uncomfortable. We keep forcing moves out of fear that if we stop, everything will collapse. The truth is that restless energy often pushes away the very thing we're trying to attract. Strategic non-action is not laziness or giving up. It's confidence, the ability to step aside when you've done your part and trust the process to do the rest. It's knowing when to plant the seed and when to leave it in the soil, letting the unseen work happen. It's recognizing that some things simply can't be rushed. Think of a chess master. They don't move pieces just to move them. They wait for the right opening, letting their opponent make rash moves. Their stillness is deliberate, their patience a weapon. When you practice strategic non-action, you stop draining yourself with busy work that doesn't actually move you forward. You learn to listen to your intuition about when to act and when to hold. You discover that sometimes the universe needs open space to deliver the opportunities you've been asking for, and your job is to get out of the way. Try this. The next time you feel the urge to act just to ease your discomfort, pause. If you don't know the next right step, admit it. I don't know yet. If waiting feels right, let yourself wait without guilt. You'll notice how often this creates room for solutions to appear, ones your forced action would have blocked. Life rewards those who can be still enough to receive. Habit number 6, gratitude as a manifesting force. Most people see gratitude as a polite gesture or a way to think positive. But the Stoics knew it was something far more powerful, a magnetic force that pulls more abundance into your life. When you sincerely value what you already have, you send a signal that you're ready to receive even more. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own." Even here, in acknowledging human flaws, he found reasons for understanding and perspective. And that's part of gratitude's depth. Energetically, gratitude shifts you from scarcity to abundance. Instead of focusing on what's missing, you focus on what's present. Instead of broadcasting lack, you radiate fullness. And this isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything's perfect. True Stoic gratitude accepts reality, but chooses to see what's working instead of obsessing over what's broken. It's about appreciating your struggles because they're shaping you, your challenges because they're sharpening you, and your setbacks because they're steering you towards something better. When you wake up grateful, you start the day in a high-energy state that attracts more of the same. When you go to bed grateful, you program your subconscious to look for reasons to appreciate. This creates a cycle. Gratitude leads to more experiences that make you grateful. The key isn't just feeling grateful, it's expressing it. Tell someone how much you value them. Write a thank you note for even a small kindness. Admire the beauty of an ordinary moment. Acknowledge your body for carrying you, your breath for sustaining you, your heart for beating without fail. Gratitude turns what you have into enough, and enough is always the foundation for more. When life sees you caring for what you've been given, it trusts you with greater blessings. Habit number 7, the strength of emotional sovereignty. Your emotions aren't random storms passing through, they're generated by you. Realizing this gives you immense power, yet most people hand over their emotional state to situations, other people, or events they can't control. Seneca wrote, "Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks the truth turns from the new and unknown to the eternal and divine." He understood that we have the ability to guide our inner state rather than be dragged by it. Your emotional reactions are choices, not fixed outcomes. And once you embrace this, you reclaim authority over your own experience. Two people can face the same rejection, financial setback, or disappointment. One collapses under it, the other processes the emotion, learns from it, and uses it to move forward. The difference isn't the event, but their level of emotional sovereignty. This doesn't mean suppressing feelings or pretending negativity doesn't exist. It means fully experiencing emotions without letting them take the wheel of your life. You can acknowledge anger without becoming destructive. You can sit with sadness without drowning in it. You can feel fear without allowing it to paralyze you. Your emotions are energy. They're your creative fuel. When you control them, you direct your creative power. Choosing peace in chaos draws more peaceful situations to you. Choosing joy, regardless of circumstances, invites more joy into your life. The practice is simple but challenging. When you feel an intense emotion, pause and ask, "What is this here to teach me? How can I use this energy constructively? How long do I choose to stay in this state?" Then act from that conscious choice. Emotions are meant to be messengers, not masters. They're here to inform and energize you, not dictate your decisions or define your future. When you master your emotional world, you strengthen your manifesting power. If you're ready to step into that, declare it. My emotions exist, but they do not control me. Habit number 8, the philosophy of enough. In a culture that constantly shouts that you need more to be happy, the Stoics uncovered a radical truth. Enough isn't measured by how much you own, but by how you relate to what you have. When you truly embrace the idea of enough, you unlock a deep sense of contentment and strength that no new possession or achievement can give you. Seneca, one of Rome's wealthiest men, wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." This came from someone who had experienced every form of worldly success, yet discovered that real fulfillment came from something far beyond material gain. Living by the philosophy of enough doesn't mean settling or abandoning your goals. It means realizing that your happiness and sense of abundance don't depend on getting more things, more praise, or more recognition. It's about understanding that the feeling you think you'll gain from your dreams is already available to you right now, in this moment, with what you have. Here's the paradox. When you genuinely feel you already have enough, you stop acting from desperation and start acting from abundance. And abundance energy naturally attracts more abundance. The people who seem most magnetic aren't the ones obsessing over what they lack. They're the ones who radiate satisfaction with their lives, even as they remain open to new experiences. This kind of contentment isn't complacency. It's quiet confidence, the deep knowing that you are already whole, already valuable, already enough. From this foundation, you can pursue your dreams with love instead of fear, with excitement instead of neediness. Tonight, before you sleep, take a mental inventory of everything you already have to be grateful for: your health, relationships, skills, opportunities, and experiences. Let yourself really feel the richness of your life as it is. This is the energy that draws miracles. Declare it if you're ready. I am enough, and I attract from that truth. Habit number 9, the courage of authentic expression. One of the greatest barriers to manifesting the life you truly want is living a life that isn't authentically yours. When you spend your days trying to meet other people's expectations, hiding your real thoughts and feelings, or playing roles that don't align with your soul, you create an inner resistance that blocks your desires from flowing into reality. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself of the peace that comes from minding your own path. How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does. Having the courage to live as your true self, regardless of what others think, is not just a matter of personal freedom, it's a key to manifesting powerfully. When you're living inauthentically, you're essentially giving the universe false information about who you are and what you want. How can life send you what's truly meant for you if you're wearing a mask? How can the right opportunities find you if you're hiding your real identity? Authenticity doesn't mean being harsh or inconsiderate. It means telling your truth with kindness, choosing pursuits that genuinely light you up rather than those you think you should want, and making decisions grounded in your values rather than external approval. The beauty of living authentically is that it automatically attracts what's aligned for you and repels what isn't. When you stop trying to win over everyone, you start meeting the people who value the real you. When you release goals that don't belong to you, you make space for experiences that bring genuine fulfillment. It takes bravery, because authenticity often means some people won't understand you, certain opportunities may pass you by, and some paths you thought were yours will fall away. But this isn't loss, it's liberation. Your true self is your most powerful self. It's the only version of you that can build a life that truly satisfies your soul. Everything meant for you is seeking the real you, not the image you project to fit in. Start today. In one conversation, share what you truly feel. In one decision, choose based on your deepest truth instead of outside pressure. Then, watch how your energy shifts and new possibilities open up. Habit number 10. Trust in divine timing. Perhaps the most profound Stoic lesson in manifestation is learning to trust the timing of life. The understanding that events unfold exactly when they're meant to, not necessarily when you think they should. This isn't passive waiting, it's active faith in the intelligence of the universe. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." The Stoics believed in a rational, purposeful order to existence, where everything happens for a reason, even when that reason is hidden from our limited perspective. Often, impatience becomes our greatest enemy in creating what we desire. When you insist on your personal schedule, you resist the natural flow of events. You may overlook opportunities because you're locked on one specific path, or you might reject blessings simply because they don't arrive in the form you expected. Trusting divine timing means relaxing into a rhythm that is far wiser and more expansive than your own plans. Delays are not necessarily denials. They can be protection or preparation. Sometimes, you must grow into the version of yourself capable of sustaining the very thing you're asking for. Other times, the world must rearrange to create the perfect conditions for your dream to materialize. Look at the most valuable things in your life right now. How many of them happened exactly when you thought they would? Likely very few. Many of your greatest blessings probably came unexpectedly, through paths you didn't plan, at moments when you weren't even looking. This doesn't mean abandoning action or ambition. It means holding your goals lightly, allowing life to bring them about in its own way, while you continue to act with dedication and intention. It's about surrendering control over when and how, without losing focus on what you want. When you trust the timing of the universe, you stop exhausting yourself trying to force outcomes. You stop missing the beauty of the present because you're anxious about the future. You begin noticing the magic already unfolding around you, right here, right now. The universe is always working in your favor, even when it doesn't feel that way. Your role is to align with that truth and let it guide you toward your highest good.